I know we can use the chat as well. Good evening, Black Runners Connection family. Hope all your cousins are joining us tonight. I know it's late for some of you, but we do have people on different time zones, so I just want to make sure that we give them some time to get home from work and gives us an opportunity to share all of this information that we have tonight with everyone. Tonight, we're going to have two wonderful humans, Adrienne or Benton, who is the founder for Black Unicorns, and Kimberley Williams, who is the founder of two groups. She has Tokyo Drift, and she also has Meet Me at the London. And these groups are designed to support us at these world major marathons. So for tonight, we're just going to focus on the spring races. I know that we're about a week late, a couple of days late for Tokyo, but we're still going to have some discussion around Tokyo for those of you who are interested in joining that group. So without further ado, I'm going to bring these wonderful ladies on with me. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be joined by the two of you this evening, and I think back to the times that we've met, and sometimes I'm like, I gotta pinch myself to see that like we're doing this kind of stuff now, right? We have all these groups. We're really focused on the community of what we do as runners, and I sometimes wonder like how it was done before, so we play such a critical role in just awareness and connection, and I'm proud of all of us, and I'm really proud of the folks that make up our communities and our networks. So thank you so much for joining this evening, and I'm going to give each of you just a moment to just kind of introduce yourselves, talk about whatever you like regarding running. Those of y'all who know me know that this is a real informal conversation. These are my friends. So, we're just going to kick it like we always do. And I should say, we're more than friends. We're cousins, right? So we're just going to kick it tonight, and make this fun. So how about Adrienne? Would you like to start off?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Adrienne Benton. I'm a co-founder of the Black Unicorn Marathoners. We started the event. This will be our 10th event. We started as a meetup in association with the National Black Marathoners Association. As we sort of grew and we wanted to be more inclusive for the runners running Boston, to give them a great experience of Boston, a great experience of what the city is and can be, and to really make them feel welcome. So we've been holding the event at the Reggie Lewis Center. So we're looking forward to folks coming to Boston. We're trying to make it a destination and a place where we can all come and meet up with each other and celebrate each other.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Kim, similarly, I'm going to give you the floor.
Hey, everybody. I use that greeting a lot if you listen to my podcast. I am Kimberley Williams, or Straight Kim if you follow me on socials. I have a little show called the Runway Podcast. It's been in existence since right before COVID hit. I'm on a little hiatus at the moment, but we will be coming back very soon. I am a 6-star finisher. I finished up my last year in Tokyo, and I run 2 groups on Facebook that focus on the majors. So I have Meet Me at the London, and people who are running the London Marathon are in that group. And then I have Tokyo Drift, which is, of course, dedicated to runners that are doing the Tokyo Marathon, which just wrapped up. And, I created those groups for us to have a a safe space to come together and, just to have camaraderie and for all of us to be seen in one central location in one place and for others to see us and to know that we exist in these spaces. So that's a little brief summary of who I am. And I've been running this is going to be my 11th year running.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like when you think about how fast it goes, like I just celebrated 10 years myself on the 24th of February. And, I vividly remember the day, I was a cyclist and I was trying to get a ride in and it was snowing outside when I got all my gear on. I was like, I just need 45 minutes. I throw my computer, the little Garmin, I threw it in my backpack, from my jersey and just went out. And I came back and I posted it and people were like, "You just did that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were asking all these questions. I was like, "Did I do something wrong?" And they were like, "No, you're kind of fast. I've been trying to run that." So like that day just sticks in my head and I kind of never really looked back, and before you know it, 10 years have passed.
Yeah.
So, I think when I met you, you were like a cyclist. You were in Major Taylor.
Yep.
And you just transitioned. Do you even cycle anymore? I don't think I've seen you on a bike in like ages.
No, I still have my bike. It's on my trainer right now. And, I remember about a year after I started running, I saw one of the old heads in the club and he was like, "Dude, are you coming back?" And I said, I love cycling, but I love running. And I just never really turned back from it. So,
see, I haven't ridden the bike in a while. I got doored by an SUV. So that kind of made me a little more skittish about doing riding on the streets and stuff like that. But I'm also celebrating my 10th anniversary of running.
Wow.
I started in 2014 and I was 55 at the time and I'll be 65 in June. So so running has done a lot of good things in my life. Really gotten me, connected with a lot of like-minded people. I was doing CrossFit before that and a bunch of other things, but the run life has been satisfying and it's really helped my health objectives,
absolutely.
especially getting older and stuff. And I've been able to encourage a lot of folks that are in my age group to at least get out and walk. People don't even realize what 15-minute walk will do in their life until they start doing it. And they find that, wow, so many things change and fairly quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm sure all of you have the stories of people that you don't even know are paying attention to you. And they come up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you inspired me to do this." And I started moving because I was watching you. And I mean, there's no greater blessing than that, when someone, says that to me. I'm always surprised when people are like, "Oh yeah, I follow you," or, "I know you from here and I've been watching you and thank you for, staying consistent because now I'm consistent." And I'm just like, wow, you know who I am? Like, you know who I am? So it's I'm grateful to be in this space to inspire anyone to, work on their health. So, So let's talk about these marathons. So, Kim, I know you must have like a bunch of activity that you want to share with us that was happening in Tokyo Drift. So tell us a little bit more about the group and tell us the things that you saw this week that maybe inspired you.
So the group started last year. And there was another Tokyo group on Facebook, but they were waiting since COVID and, they were dormant and, nothing was really happening. I tried to see if something was going on and, it was pretty dormant. So I decided to start my own group because if, I didn't start it, probably no one else would. So, it started last year. And, I kind of follow the same model for every major event wise. So we have a meet and greet. That's usually like the Friday before the race. And I always like to find anything that's Black owned wherever we go. So in Tokyo, believe it or not, there are Black owned businesses. And for our meet and greet in Tokyo, we go to a restaurant called the Soul Food House. and it's run by a husband and wife duo, and they are from the United States, and they moved to Tokyo and they brought their love of Southern food with them. So it's authentic Southern food in Tokyo. It's like really amazing. And we've been going to them. This is our second year in a row that they welcomed us into their establishment. And it's just nice to, I mean, when I travel, I like to eat the local cuisine, but it's nice to get like a taste of home when you are away, especially in a place like Tokyo. You wouldn't expect to have like catfish, mac and cheese, and collard greens, and to have it there is pretty amazing. So we all gathered there. It's small. Everything in Tokyo is small. So we take over the whole place, and they just take really good care of us, and it's like a family. I met them for the first time last year. I corresponded with them online and met them for the first time in person. And it was like I knew them forever. So they are like really good people. If you're ever in Tokyo, make sure you go to the Soulful House and just patronize their restaurant, because, during COVID, that you can look them up on YouTube. They were struggling like everyone else. They had to close down their business, and they're thankful and grateful that they're still here during that time. So it's nice to be able to connect with our people when we are abroad. On Saturday, we have a shakeout run. So last year, I just put it together. Everyone came. It was kind of informal. And, there were members from other running groups there, and everyone just jumped in, participated, and, do warm-ups. We introduce each other, and you see people online all the time, but you don't really know them. And when you meet them in person, it's like, hey, that's the guy who I've been liking his or her pictures all this time, and here they are in person now. And it's nice when people say that, I met this person online, we met in person, and now we have a friendship. So that's why I like having these events and bringing people together. This year, Midstrike Magazine hosted our shakeout run. So they brought everybody together. And I think the shakeout run this year had like 4 times as many people as last year. So the event like grew tremendously just in 1 year's time. And, it just spread like wildfire just from word of mouth,
And that's what you want, right? Like you want it to be like this organic growth, where people are, they're talking about it, right? And then they want to be a part of it, and they want to share. They want to be a part of the community aspect of these runs. I'm gonna tell you, I don't do these races for the race. I do these races because I know I'm gonna see my cousins when I get there. I know that when I'm out on the course, I'm gonna see a cousin that I got some time to just hang out with at one of these meet and greets. I mean, it's just a sensible formula, for us to get together, break bread, do a shakeout together, and then when we see each other later on, we know each other and we can support each other. And it's, to me, I just love it. Now I think, Adrienne, you've taken it to like the next level, for what you're doing, and we're going to get there in a minute. But I love this. It's kind of like the simplicity of it, because especially when I know I can't be there, I want it to be reproducible. I want it, that people can say, hey, here's the plan for this. We're going to do this, then we're going to do this, and it's not overly complicated. I know it feels like that though a lot of times when we're just trying to get things organized, but just like when I do the one here for New York City for BRC, we go to a place that my fraternity brother, he hosts us every year at his restaurant uptown, and then we have the shakeout run the next day.
It works.
It works. It just works.
It's like being at the family party at somebody's house and everybody's in the kitchen, right? And so that's, we love to gather, and people remember how you made them feel, right? So that's what we're trying to do here in Boston is to give people a good feeling about being here in Boston, and to really connect people. There are people who had run Boston 17, 18 times and had never seen or met more than maybe 3 or 4 other people of color.
Yeah.
that were running the race. I mean, people would have those people that they have dinner with when they get to Boston and all those other things, but there wasn't a sense that the city really, really saw them,
Yeah.
and that's what we're all about. We're all about making sure the runners are seen, making sure the runners are heard, making sure they meet each other, making sure that they want to support each other. I mean, we have more people coming to Boston this year just to support people who are getting their 6 stars,
Mhm.
to support folks who are running their first Boston. We have 30 runners in Boston who receive bibs through the Boston Running Collaborative. So there are people that live in Boston that are now feeling more a part of this marathon. In addition, it's very important to look at the economic side of these races too. Um, we have the Reggie Lewis Center. That's where we have our event, and that's very intentional because it's in Roxbury. We want folks to know more about the restaurants that are in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan. So some of that commerce from Back Bay can come into Roxbury and come into the other parts of Boston, because there's millions and millions of dollars that come into the city. The
Mhm.
BAA alone, this is a 40-something million dollar organization,
Yep.
and then we also facilitate the charities raising another 40-something million for themselves. It's 80-something million dollars a year. It's a lot of money.
That's a
So we
lot of
want
money.
that commerce to come into our communities also, and for our communities to really benefit from having the Boston Marathon well, at least finishing in Boston, and also for the young folks to be able to see that there's people that look like us that run Boston. It's not an exclusive thing. It's attainable. You know, it's attainable. You see your auntie, your uncle, your cousins, and other folks
Mhm.
like that. And I don't know if you can cue it up, but in the invitation, there's a link that shows a video from the procession of the runners. I mean, all of that is intentional because the runners are the focus. The runners are the superstars. We want to know. We want you to know that you're celebrated, that you're wanted, that you are going to kick butt on Monday, and we got your back. You know.
Adrienne,
So,
tell us the website is blackunicorns.com or .org.
so it's blackunicornmarathoners.org. So it's a long URL, but it is what it is because the acronyms is BUM, which is bum, and that wasn't too attractive. So we used the whole thing.
All right,
We
I'm
weren't thinking
posting
too
that
much
in the
about
chat.
that, but everybody loves and appreciates the name. So
Mhm.
Absolutely. So again, I want you to back up just a little bit.
yeah,
So you mentioned the event, but I'm not
yeah,
sure everyone listening knows what that means. So
yeah,
would you just give some details about that?
yeah. So basically, we started out as a meetup with folks gathering together. When I had the first one, I had only been running for a little less than a year, and it was 2015. And I went up to the top of the hub and I said, "Hey, can I invite some runners here for some drinks? And then we're going to go over to the pasta dinner because at that time the BAA had pasta dinner before the marathon." And I was rounding up people on the street. If you look a shade of anything, I was like, "Come on up to the top of the hub." So we had about 20 people. I had spoken to Charles Yancey a couple of weeks beforehand. He was city councilor. And I said, "Hey, I'm going to invite some runners up to the top of the hub. Why don't you come and welcome them to Boston?" He said, "Sure." So he showed up and he welcomed them to Boston. And so we've continued that tradition every year. And in our second year, we had the BAA involved at that time. They welcomed the runners to Boston. And a lot of it has just grown organically and word of mouth. And so when the pandemic hit, we had a virtual meetup where we had the mayor of Boston and city council. We had Ayanna Presley and other folks to talk about COVID and to talk to our people about what was happening regarding COVID. That was a lot of respect shown, and we deserve all that. Um, so then fast forward, you get to 2021 and COVID's still sort of lingering. So the pasta dinner wasn't happening anymore. So we decided to have the meetup at the Bruce Bowling building in Roxbury. And then this little light bulb went off that, oh, we need to be here in our community, you
Mhm.
know? to do this. And then the next year, there were a lot of different events and things going on, and we wanted everybody to kind of be able to participate in everything. So we pivoted from Sunday to Saturday. And that's how we got into the Reggie Lewis Center, because we said, hey, why not just use the track, the field house, and let's have a big celebration. And then we were like, well, what are we going to do in here? And it was like, oh, let's do like they do in the Olympics. And let's have a procession of the athletes.
Nice.
And
Nice.
we'll have them come in. So we have African drummers that lead the procession. And, you get to bring whatever types of flags you want, whether or not you want to rep your country, your city, your state, your run crew, whatever it is, you can do that. Runners introduce themselves. That's one of the most important aspects of the entire event, is that each runner gets to introduce themselves, to talk about, a little bit about their journey. You only have about 15 seconds, but all the same, it's quite a long time when you're standing up talking. But that's how we started. We have massages for the runners. We have compression stations for the runners. We also have incorporated a mini expo to try to incorporate some of the economic development that we talked about.
That's right.
So we'll have, different retailers and hopefully maybe a few local restaurants to be able to show what they can do, and so people can get familiar with them. But it's a way to kind of draw more people into Roxbury, and it's centrally located, easily accessible by the Orange Line, and it's only 2.2 miles from the Boston Marathon finish line. So it's not like it's very far or anything of that sort. But it's a big party, and it's also a time for the wider community, and I say wider, but also the majority community, meaning sort of the traditional white runners, as well as some of the people who have kind of been involved for many years in running. It gives them the chance to basically celebrate other communities and to sort of see what else is out there. I mean, for some of them, the first time we had the meetup at the Bruce Bowling building, some of those folks had never even been to Roxbury, nor had they been to that building. They talked about how beautiful it was. You got a whole view of the city. You have an outdoor roof deck and all those other things. They had no idea that was available in Roxbury, because people have these perceptions of us, And so,
it just on that, like even seeing us in mass at a race is shocking to people. Mm-hmm. For the past 2 years, BRC had a partnership with Ironman Foundation, and so we were sending runners to participate in the relay at the Ironman 70.3s. And I remember the one that I attended as a runner, and people were like, "Are you guys like celebrities? Like who are you guys?" Right? Mm-hmm. They just couldn't even fathom that we were people who like this too.
Yeah, just Jenny
right?
On the block, right? It's just like, we're people that love to run or love to do triathlon.
Right. Yeah. But this gave them an opportunity also, because we were there as a group. They gave them an opportunity to interact with us and see that, hey, we're weekend warriors just like you are. Mm-hmm. We just happen to love this craziness the same way that you love it. Yeah. And I think that does something to change the perspective for people who are not us, mm-hmm. but also for people who are us, who see us. Yeah. The procession, is that kind of like open to the public, or is it?
Yeah, everything's open to the public. Now the procession is for those who are running, though.
Right. Okay.
So if you're not running the Boston Marathon, the 128th Boston Marathon, then you can be cheer squad at the event. Yeah. Right. Yeah, but the event is open to the public because we want the community to see. We want the community to participate. There are a lot of people in our communities, and I say our communities because I actually live in Roxbury and I'm walking distance from the Reggie Lewis. And so for me, it's important that we feel free to go into any part of the city that we want to go into. Yep. And a lot of times people don't feel like Back Bay is accessible. There are some people who have never even really been there until they started running. Right. Right. That's amazing. And
let me ask you this, because I know some people are probably wondering, is the procession and is the Black Unicorns only for people who have qualified by time for Boston?
No, because I was there.
Because you were there,
and I
right?
didn't qualify.
No,
Yeah.
basically, and that's the point of it too. It's like, I remember when we first started gathering as a group, there were a lot of perceptions of qualifiers versus charity runners and all these other things, and those are some of the things that we've been able to sort of chip away at a little bit. So there's not that feeling of that divide anymore. Of course, qualifiers are bad, there's no question about it, because qualifying for Boston is not an easy feat, and running Boston is not an easy feat by any stretch of the imagination. But I think everybody began to realize that everyone's effort is important to, in terms of what it took to get to Boston, whether or not you're raising thousands of dollars, whether or not you qualified, it is not an easy thing to do to get to Boston. It's not a cheap city to be in, just to be able to get a hotel room and all those other things. I mean, so there's a lot of respect around all of that. And in terms of the Black Unicorn Marathon, it's basically for us, if you have a BQ, you're part of the group. If you've run Boston in the past, if you're a charity runner and you've been accepted to Boston, then we invite you to the page. We have a public Facebook page, but then we have a private group page. So those are the different ways that you get on the private group page is if we know that you're in the queue to run Boston, we invite you on. If you have a BQ and haven't run Boston yet, that's fine. You BQ. That we want to celebrate that. We want to celebrate you for that. And also, it's an environment where if you're not sure if you're going to run Boston and you have BQ'd or whatever, you can ask people a bunch of questions and get help in terms of making your decisions and things of that sort too. So yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. So,
so not just for qualifiers. It is open to those running Boston.
So I want to specifically for Black Unicorns, I want you to tell people where should they go to join Black Unicorns.
Okay, so we have a public Facebook page. On the private Facebook page, you have to be invited. So basically what I would say is that if you've run a Boston or you have a BQ, you can send us an email or you can send us a note through the public page and let us know, and we'll invite you onto the page. Basically, we do things very organically in terms of how we're able to outreach to people. I was scoping, the Tokyo site and all that because, for people who have gotten their 6 stars, for example, well, I know they ran Boston. So I'm hunting them down saying, hey, come over to the Black Unicorn page because you've run Boston, and that's how we connect with each other. But all of our events, if people want to volunteer, that's open for anyone to do.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Kim, I want to talk a little bit more about London. London is coming up. Meet me at the London. So let's talk about it. Tell them how they can find the group, and then I want you to also talk about the Tokyo Drift as well. But since London is coming up, let us know what the deal is. How do people get connected?
You can search Meet Me at the London on Facebook, or if you go to facebook.com/groups/Meet Me at the London. We make it very easy. I also have a Instagram page called Black and Major. So the Instagram page started as Meet Me at the London, and then I changed the name to Tokyo Drift. And then I said, I can't keep changing the name every time there's a new major. So we're now Black and Major. So we celebrate all major marathons for that Black and brown people are running. So if you go to the Black and Major page, I changed the link out to the groups when the next race is approaching. So right now you can find the link to Meet Me at the London on the Black and Major Instagram page. It is a private group, so you must have an entry for the upcoming London Marathon. if you're an alumni, you can join as well, because I like to have alumni in the group because they are very informative and can give the group members information and ask a lot of questions and be very helpful. So if you have an upcoming entry, if you're raising money for charity, feel free to join the group. If you're an alumni and you've had one in the past, you can join the group as well. I will be setting up some events for London. If you've been following Tokyo, you know we do the meet and greet, the shakeout, and then we do a post race kind of photo shoot. But it's so many people that we have to, like, you know, you're not sitting there with a photographer for 20-30 minutes taking pictures. It's like a quick in and out, and you get, you know, a few shots and a group shot with everyone to share on your socials. So I like to set that up so people can have like a little moment. What is the word I'm looking for? You know, a little memento from the race that they ran. So that's really good. In Tokyo, we actually have a Black photographer, Mark Antometti Photography. He is from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx, but he is from the Bronx and he moved to Tokyo. So again, we're keeping up that using Black-owned business theme wherever we go. And he does our shoots in Tokyo. In London, James helped me out with the London group last year because he was there. You know, it's nice to have someone on the ground that can help facilitate the event. So James set up the meet and greet last year. He did, you know, the group photo. And you guys did the shakeout run with the other group, right?
Yes. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I think we joined. Oh, was it? I can't even remember. Was it DRC that was doing it? Was it?
Rundum Crew.
Rundum Crew. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rundum Crew, you know, it's nice to join a local shakeout crew if you can when you're at these majors, because they'll take you around the local neighborhoods and, you know, just show you how they do it. You know, because we're in New York and people join us and we know where to go and we know what to show people. So it's nice being able to connect with the locals. In London this year, I do have a man on the ground. So he will probably do our shakeout run for us this year and still building events. So definitely if you're running London, join the Meet Me at the London group and connect with your people.
And I just want to add, for a lot of these groups, sometimes like the week of, when people are on the ground, we'll also create like WhatsApp groups so that people can kind of stay in touch a little easier. Sometimes, at least my experience, my Facebook was like all over the place when I was in London, but my WhatsApp was operating, you know, perfectly fine. But so I encourage you to, you know, check in with the folks who are in the Meet Me at the London group. Check in, obviously, the folks that are in Black Unicorn group, and the same for any of these, and just see what, you know, try to figure out the best way to stay connected while, especially for the international races.
Mm-hmm. And what I want to add about Black Unicorns is you have to know someone to get into the group. So when I did Boston in 2022, I didn't tell anybody. I don't know how Philip King added me to Black Unicorns. I didn't know the Black Unicorn group existed. And Philip King just happened to add me to the group and he introduced me in the group. It's nice because the person that adds you usually makes an introduction for you and, you know, gives a little background of, you know, why you're running London, how you're not London, Boston, sorry. You know, if you be cute or whatever. So it's nice to have that introduction from someone that's in the group. So if you know like a Black person that's run Boston, chances are they're probably a Black Unicorn. So ask them to add you to the group. I posted today in Tokyo Drift. I like to share the knowledge because a lot of people don't know. You know, they don't know that there's a Black Unicorn marathoners group. They don't know. And, you know, there's a group for Berlin Blackish that Heather King runs. So I posted the groups today. And I don't know if you got any influx of, did you get any new members, Adrienne?
Me? Oh.
No, Adrienne.
We have a few. So, because I know Rochelle sent a note out to us because she was checking them, because we also check the entry list for Boston also. So we do all that kind of due diligence. A lot of times if we get a cold call, so to speak, just to make sure that that person, is either queued up to run Boston, has a BQ, and all the other things. But the public page, anybody can go to the public page. We've been trying to keep up to date with our featured runners on there and everything else. And you can register for the event. The event is free. So we're hoping if you're in Boston, you come see us.
Mm-hmm. And the event is amazing. I've been to Boston maybe 3 times in my life. I've never been to Roxbury. I heard of Roxbury because I know New Edition is from there. So when I saw the actual rock, I said, I'm going to where New Edition, grew up. And, it's a quick train ride from Boston because you're probably staying somewhere close to where the expo is or, not too far. I don't remember what city I stayed in, but it was close to the airport. It was maybe took me 30 minutes to get into downtown.
Yeah. What is out there? I forget. There's three little.
I don't remember, but it was very close to the airport, and it was half the price it was to stay in Boston proper. So if you're doing Boston, consider staying in the outlier cities because it will be more affordable. But I'm thankful that Philip added me to the group because I went to the ceremony, and I have the mug. I don't know if you still give it out, but you gave like a tumbler.
Yep, we had tumblers.
I use it at work every day. It's a Black Unicorn Marathon tumbler. I still have my pen. Let me see. I'm gonna show you on my pen. My medals are right here.
I have on one here. There we go. I have on one.
So look, here's my Boston medal.
Yeah.
When did I run it? 2022. So I was in 126. And here's my Boston, my Black Unicorn Marathoners pin. I don't know if you can see it. And also,
she's doing a great job. I don't have to.
Look, you guys sent this little Boston pin out as well.
Yes.
So we got this later in, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months later, you mailed it to everyone.
Yeah, we want to make sure that, you don't have to wear your medal everywhere, that you can, if you're going out, you can put that on. So
this says 100, it's like a mini replica of the medal. So that was very nice. And I was hoping I could get one of those sashes, but I didn't get one.
Well, believe it or not,
ceremony.
We're going to have a donate link on our website. And so we'll put the link out. And for folks that make a donation of a certain amount, you'll get a scarf as a gift.
I'll make a donation because I want that scarf. It is so, it's amazing, y'all. So if you're doing Boston, if you have done Boston, make sure you join this group because it really, because I went to Boston alone.
Mm-hmm.
I knew people, you always run into people that but just going to that ceremony and seeing everyone in one spot. Meb was there. Does he come every year?
Meb has been coming this will be his 8th year coming. Yeah.
Meb was there. And if you ever have met Meb, you'll get your Meb picture with the thumbs up. He's like such a nice man. And
he's incredible.
Every time you meet him.
Let me tell you something. I was in San Diego 2015. And they were having like a little, he was having like a little meet and greet where he was like just talking about the race.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, it was rock and roll.
Yeah.
So they asked me, they asked for if people had questions. I come up on the stage and I asked them a question and we kind of laughed. And then the next day I see him after the race and I'm walking and I was like, hi, man. But he goes, James, right? I was like, you know who I am? Like, I mean, and he was surrounded by people. So he is an incredible ambassador to this sport.
Yeah.
Like he really cares about people. I don't know how he does it because my memory is horrible. I got yelled at by a woman one time because she said, I met you 4 times and you don't remember me. And I felt terrible because I really do try. But and I always say, well, there's like several thousand of y'all and one of me. But then Meb goes and like remembers my name, right? And he gets mobbed wherever he goes. So
it's amazing.
He's such a class act.
I posted the link to the procession if you wanted to show that.
I posted it here.
I put it in the chat. So
yeah, you put it in a private chat. I put it in a public one.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see it on the screen. So you all should, let me see if I can highlight, start it. Hopefully by starring it, people can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. there's a lot of comments in the chat. People are saying, I love my Black Unicorn marathon scarf. I keep my pin on my jacket. I love my mug and pin. I need the scarf.
You need that scarf.
Yeah.
Lawrence said he keeps his on his jacket. It's still, I keep mine on my medal so I don't lose it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I should start wearing it out more. I don't like to show off because, you know, when I see people in the Boston jackets, I'm like, this show offs. Before I ran, you know, everyone, you go to New York City Marathon Expo, everyone has on their Boston jacket. I was like, stop showing off. But I should start showing off a little bit.
Yeah, show off.
Well, you know, the Boston jacket just seems to be one of those things that people wear everywhere. Everywhere. So.
Well, one of these days when I qualify, maybe when I'm 85, I'm gonna be wearing mine everywhere too, with my walker.
Listen, I saw Joan Benoit Samuelson, and she's 2 years older than me, and I told her, I said, I'm planning to dominate the 85-year-old age group.
You're gonna have some strong competition then too.
She said, well, I don't think I'll be running then, and I said, that's the point. That's the point. You know.
Courtney asked, is it possible to get a pin from 2023?
I think we do have some 2023 pins left. Yes.
So Courtney, if you're still on, contact Adrienne and see if you can get yourself.
Yeah, just send a note to, if you go on the website, there's info@ Black Unicorn Marathoners. If you just send a note there, send us your address, and if we have one, we'll just, you know, drop it in the snail mail for you.
Well, thank you for that, Kim, because, you know, I'm a slacker over here. See, Kim is professional at doing this, right? You know, so
no, I just opened up the chat on my phone so I can see the comments.
Right. See, she knows how to do all that. I'm just here, you know. It's like,
see, I got the thing on the bottom and say, look, so just so y'all know, all I see right now, looking at this dashboard, it just says Facebook user. I don't know who's who. And so in order for me to tell who you are, you have to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give this app permission so that I can see who you are. So I see there's 3 or 4 people whose names I can see here, and the rest, all of you come up as Facebook user. And you know, I know we don't all look alike, but you all look alike to me right now because all I see is no faces. It just says Facebook user. So. Well, do you have any? I really just wanted to share what you all are doing because it's amazing. We need more of this, and I just believe that we should be championing each other in the efforts that we make. Right? Like this is to me, y'all are family. And, you know, I think y'all know that. But if not, just, you know, I'm saying it out loud again. To me, y'all are family. And so, you know, there's room for all of us to do the things that we do, to teach each other, to learn from each other, to help each other. And because to me, this isn't even really about the 3 of us. This is about all these wonderful people who are listening to this, who are part of our groups, who just want that sense of community. It's really, the community is what keeps me in this run game.
Yeah.
You know, it really isn't the running.
Yeah, and I want to take a moment to thank, you know, Philip King, Alexandria Williams, Jatola Anderson Blair, Rochelle Solomon, and Thaddeus Miles, because, you know, it takes a real village. We had about 30 volunteers last year.
Wow.
And we're looking to have more volunteers this year. I mean, this is quite the production. We had almost 100 runners participate in the procession of the athletes, including a couple of, well, really we had 4 Olympians there because we had Meb was there. He's an Olympian. We had Ruben Sanka, who was an Olympian representing Cabo Verde. And then we had 2 wheelchair athletes, Michelle Wheeler being one of them. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but she's an Olympian.
That's awesome. I know it's going to be exciting. um, to see that in person. So, if anybody, I guess, what do you suggest for people who may be coming to Boston who just want to support or cheer? Do you have any recommendations for what they should do?
Well, Boston is getting kind of new in terms of the amounts of like cheer zones that we have. So, for example, Bank of America is a new premier presenting sponsor of the Boston Marathon now. So Bank of America is going to have a cheer zone. The Pioneer Run Crew and the Trailblaze Hers has cheer zone at mile 21, which is right near Heartbreak Hill. There's a cheer zone.
They give you
Wellsway.
life if you're running Boston.
Yes,
so if you're
yes.
going through Boston, mile 21, it's all us there. And that's a white neighborhood, right?
Predominantly, and it's Newton, and that's a whole other story. So
it was a whole big thing,
but it should be a good time. I can't tell you how to get to these different zones because either I've been running Boston or being on the board of governors. We have certain duties during the day and things of that sort, so I don't get a chance to always get out all the places that I want to go. But yeah, there'll be information coming out as to how to get to different cheer zones and things of that sort. So we'll make sure folks get that.
Excellent. Kim, anything you want folks to know about London? And meet me at the London.
Join the group, first of all. Just getting around London, where to stay, things like that. We can, be of assistance with that. I'm trying to think what neighborhood I stayed in.
I was in a neighborhood near the university, but I have to say, I appreciated everything that you did when I ran London because, you guys made it really easy. The meetup was fabulous. Had a really, really good time. So thank you for all that.
Oh, you know what? I stayed in Paddington, which was great because when you leave from the airport, the train goes right into, you can take the Elizabeth line directly there, and it's a main hub. So that's a great area to stay in. For our meet and greet, we were at, again, a Black-owned restaurant in a neighborhood that you wouldn't visit. Most people stay in London proper. Right. So there are other neighborhoods outside of London that you can visit. And I like that aspect because, when I stepped into that neighborhood, it felt like home. I saw people that looked like me, the people that owned the restaurant, Black-owned business, the food felt like home. So there's a big Caribbean and African community in London. So, yeah, if you're going to London, just get out of London proper. Buckingham Palace is great. You can pretend you're seeing the king, but, venture out and see other things and, explore. There's so much to see and do in London and just other areas and neighborhoods, and connect with the local running crews. Run Them Crew, it's a big, it's a really big crew. It's multicultural, so it's not only Black people, but it's a good majority of Black people. So it's a good community to connect with there, and just have fun. London is like, if you're doing London is a lot like New York. If you've done New York, just like the commute, getting to the start is a little bit of a mission, and just running through the different city. It kind of feels like a mini New York almost, running through the different cities to get back to London proper. So it was one of my, I would say, top 3 of majors.
I think that is the most fun I've had in any race. Everywhere I was going, all I heard was, "Good job, Jay. You can do it. You keep going." And I was just cracking up the whole time,
And there were people like the whole race. Like, it feels like home, like New York.
Yes.
There were people supporting you through like all colors, creeds. Like London, it was just a good vibe. It felt good there.
Well, London really puts a lot of emphasis on their charities. They're the opposite of Boston. They're 80% charity runners. So the entire city mobilizes around the fact that you have all these people raising money for all these charities, and everyone wants to see everyone be successful. But I do have to say, I got beat by Big Ben, and I've got somebody else
Oh
was
my
dressed
God, the
as, you know,
costumes.
yeah.
Bro,
Oh
the
yeah,
costumes are crazy.
I've
costumes
never
are
seen
awesome.
costumes like in London. Like the
Mhm.
costumes were Big Ben. I wonder if that's the same guy.
Probably.
Well, we were the same year, so we saw the same guy. He had a
Probably.
Big Ben costume. Like his whole body was in a Big Ben costume. There were
I can-
dinosaurs.
I think
Yeah.
I definitely saw dinosaurs, and I think I saw a Big Ben guy last in 2023 as well. Yeah.
It just felt good. I wouldn't mind running Boston again. Boston. I don't want to run Boston again.
Oh,
I wouldn't.
Boston.
Boston is hard for a non-qualifier for a regular old runner. Like Boston is very, very hard. I mean, they say it's a net downhill, which I guess it is, but it has a lot of rolling hills.
There's hills within the downhill.
Yes, like you're going down, but you're going up to get back down. So Boston is very, very difficult for the regular, the fast guys. They make it look so easy because they're fast and they just breeze through it. But when, the charity runners you start last. A lot of people don't realize that.
Well, no, let me correct you. So
go ahead.
The reason why the majority of charity runners are in the latter waves is because a lot of them don't have a qualifying time. Mm-hmm. But there are charity runners that have fast times and they're placed in their wave. So a lot of people don't realize that. So if I'm a qualifier and I decide I want to run for a charity, I still get placed in my wave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, for me, I had an invitational entry. So I was in the last wave. And, everyone around me, we were like 5-6 hour marathoners. And, we were trugging along, hustling up and down those hills. And it is difficult. Yeah, it is very difficult. So it's good that you can join a group like Black Unicorn Marathoners just so you can get an idea of what to expect, because it's just, everyone doesn't run a 3-hour marathon. It's nice to see the other perspective.
Absolutely.
Of it.
It's extremely important. And my training and everything else and discipline came in handy when I broke my foot in mile 1 in 2023. So it was my longest marathon, but it was by far my most gratifying. So
I couldn't even. You broke your foot and you kept running?
Yep. I told the EMTs, do not touch my shoe.
See, you built differently, because I'm gonna just tell you right now, ain't no way. Nope, ain't no way.
Listen, like, you don't get a lot of opportunities to run Boston, right? So when you're there, you are going to do, no matter what happens, you're going to try your hardest to finish that race, because you might not get another chance.
And here's my response to that.
But I wouldn't advise what I did for someone else. I mean, I was just crazy. I was just like, I'm going to get back to Boston. I took Tylenol from strangers on the course. So.
Black women, that's all I'm going to say. Y'all be doing some amazing stuff, because not this kid.
You're great, because I don't even take oranges from people on the course.
Oh, listen, my first Boston was 2018, the Unicorn Storm. And I have to tell you, I don't eat bananas. I took bananas from a person that had the banana in their bare hand. I watched a woman drop Twizzlers in the running water, and she picked them up, and I still ate a Twizzler because I couldn't get in my bag. I couldn't do anything. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
It was insane.
Well, ladies, we are at 9:58 p.m. I want to say thank you so much for all of you who participated in this chat. I wanted to say thank you so much to all of you who are watching quietly. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that this was a valuable session. This will be saved to both the BRC group and also on our YouTube, which is at BLK Runners on YouTube. So it was great, and I look forward to having you all again. I think we'll do this again next year, because I'm sure people are going to have more questions. I'm sure you're going to be doing some more amazing things. And, let's just make this an annual thing. I'm going to have another one with Heather as well. So maybe when we do that one, we'll have you all come back for that as well.
Also, real quick, we're going to be honoring Meb this year. And also we're having Team Bevins again. So we'll be announcing the team members for Team Bevins and also Team
Awesome.
Meb 10.
Awesome.
And also I talked to Marilyn the other day, and she said she had such a wonderful time with the BRC members. And she said, I don't know how I deserve all this. I said, you deserve every bit of it and more.
She better take it.
She said she had the best time with you guys. And I was so happy to hear you all did that, because she deserves every accolade that she can get, but she is so appreciative.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again, and we will be in contact soon. Thank you all. Have a very blessed night.
Thank you.
Bye.